everybody, or day, whatever it is. Anyway, I'm doing a little bit of electrical still, and it gets messy. This here wall, I'm going to go ahead and sheetrock it just to make it prettier. And I did have to cut a hole. Let me show you here. I did have to cut a hole in here because this here is where I'm going to install the heater, and here is where the old, from the other room, used to be where the wash machine was. And so I knew I had some power back here. This here wire coming up, I decided I needed a plug-in inside. This is the bathroom area on the other side, and I have a big cupboard along here, or countertop, and I didn't have a plug-in on there, so I stuck a plug-in in there. I have a ground fault, and this is a small house. I don't have enough breakers, but originally this wire that fed in here went to the wash machine. Well, what we did is we hooked into it and brought it over to where the wash machine is now. And so I do have one plug-in off of it for the bathroom area, and one plug-in here with the ground fault, which everything is ground fault protected. The one in here in the bathroom and the wash machine now is ground fault protected. So anyway, I forgot. Let me show you again. Up here, I need to install a fixture or another receptacle or whatever they call it for a light, so that way when I turn my outdoor light on that you see right up here, sorry about that, anyway, that light's going to leave, it's going to go out to the outside, and I'm going to have a light over the stairwell, so when you come in the back door it'll be lit up too. That's why I need to put the box up there. So I'm going to have to move the insulation a little bit and get that installed. So let's get her done. Okay, I got that box wired in, and I dropped the wires down, which I wanted to mention when it comes to this. If you're doing this kind of work, some people, oh, I've got so much crap in here. Anyway, some people don't want to do wiring, which is perfectly fine. Hire an electrician. But if you are doing this and you have a bunch of wires, don't be afraid to get these wires marked on what they do, because once you start getting a bunch of them running down here, you're going to be wondering, well, where does that wire go to? How do I wire it? So I have each one of those marked. Saves me a bunch of headache. But I also wanted to show you, as everyone probably knows already, remodeling, things start looking like a mess until you start doing the beauty work. You got a lot of stuff piled around that you need, and as soon as you don't need it, you need to get it out of here. Now, the plants, they don't count. I got the fan here, which I just bought that at GW. I needed a nice box fan, works beautiful and everything else, but I'm not going to use it as a fan to blow on me. I'm going to stick it in that window there when I get ready to do the sheetrock, so I can turn it on low or high or whatever I need and blow that dust out the outside instead of leaving it so bad in here. And of course I'll crack this window open to get a flow, get that dust out of here. But that's my plan so far. But as you know, it'll change any second. So there we go. Happy I remembered to put that in instead of being ticked off as I forgot. Okay, today's a new day. What can I say? I decided to change my water filters from the well to the house, and around here we have a little bit of limestone that comes up through the well, And if you have screens over your filters over the washing machine hose or whatever, they'll plug up. I noticed my faucets on the outside, if I don't turn them on all the way, that stuff will build up and then it just kind of, I'd swear it turns to clay. So what I did is, when I changed the filters, I went ahead and unscrewed the frostless faucet, pulled it out, and then I turned the well on so it flushed anything that might be in the line, even though I do have the filters, and it does get by it sometimes. And anyway, the one on the other side of the house here, I put it back together and it acted like it wouldn't shut off. Well, I went over there, turned the well back off, went over there and looked. Well, I happened to find the metal washer and the rubber gasket. I couldn't find the screw. So I had to go to town and buy a new screw. Got home, put the screw, tried putting the screw in, it wouldn't go in very well. And so I went over to Brother Roy's house, he re-threaded it, I put it back together, came over here, installed it, and now it slightly runs. So I'm going to have to go underneath the house and change that, but that's not going to be until Wednesday, and who knows what day this is going to show up. So anyway, whether I like it or not, I have to go underneath the house because of the plumbing, not just because of the electrical. So today, we are going to try this thing out. What this thing does, excuse me a second, what this thing does is this blade vibrates. So when you take your skill saw up to something, you have about that much left over to cut, this thing will finish the cut for you. Or if you're installing, or you already have trim installed and you're putting a laminate floor in or even a tile floor, you can go underneath and trim the board that's coming down so the tile will fit underneath it. This thing really comes in handy. So anyway, what I plan on using this for is I'm going to install 2 electric outlets on the outside of the Washington room, and I already have the siding installed, and it doesn't matter because I'd still have to go through the siding. So hopefully this is going to cut through the siding and all the way to where I want it to cut. So let's get at her. Okay, so first I need to drill a hole through. I would like that box sitting up against a 2x4, so that's why I'm only going to drill a hole for now. And then I'm going to take the box, mark it on the inside so I can cut it out. I have the box sitting inside the window, so I roughly know where I need to put it. And obviously I want to be 1.5 inches up from the bottom. So roughly speaking, I'm just going to throw it right in here. Let's go for it. Oh, I'm finally through. At least I see light, that's all I need. I can go use the electrical one on the inside. Okay, got this box. It's a weatherproof box, and I'm sure it's meant to go to the outside. I don't care. I'm going to cock the hell out of it, I guess. But I plan on going through the siding and shove this clear to the inside. But I want enough of this sticking out, which it should be about 1 inch. It's going to be sticking out to the outside, because I still have this face plate I got to put on, and that's all I need is all of this hanging out there so the riding lawnmower will hit it. You know it'd happen, so that's why I'm going to suck it in as far as I can. And here I already went ahead and marked out my box outline, and now I'll use that new tool to cut this out and see how well that works. So let me get that set up. Oh, by the way, this is an outdoor box. It already has a ground screw in it ready for that. So I'm all set up. And we will be putting a ground fault in this whole line, so everything's GFI protected. That's what I want. So this is quite noisy. but I'm sure the camera will knock it out, or I'll knock it out so you guys don't have to listen to it. So let me go for this. Look at that. I am totally happy with that. Okay, I got my box secure from the inside, and I do want to stress, this is not a GFI plug. I have inside a GFI plug and then extended it over, and it will do all my plugs, including the outside plugs. So that way I don't have to worry about it. And GFI, as you know, are very thick, and it's hard to get into some of these boxes. So that's why I'm not putting it in this one. Now I could have bought a box that was about 1 inch deeper, but I didn't do that one because it costs about $2 more for a little bit deeper box. And it doesn't matter because I was going to put a normal plug in outside anyway, because I have the GFI on the inside and coming around to the outside here. And as you know, you have the copper colored or brass colored screws. That's what the black wire, which is the hot wire, goes on to. And I have the silver screws, which will be the white wire. And of course, on my build, these are already dead. I don't have any power in the room yet. But if you're doing this, you need to make sure you don't have any power to these wires, or you get electrocuted. So anyway, I have my ground hooked up to the box. I have my ground wire coming from these wires, and I had to make a pigtail so that way, and this is the pigtail going to the box, so I can screw these all together and make a proper ground. Wire nut, of course. There's other gadgets you can stick on here, but I think the wire nut is the strongest. And all these wires are good and tight. So let me go ahead and get this wired up.